Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This morning I'm going to talk about the energy body. I talked about it a couple times ago. I'm going to talk more about it today. In Buddhism, there's what they call the three bodies of Buddha. And we don't need to get all philosophical here, but we chant them regularly. Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Dharmakaya. So Dharmakaya is the earth body, the Tim body, the Cheryl body, the body right here in the earth. Dharmakaya is the spaciousness when the mind, it's always there, but when the mind is rattled, it misses it. The spaciousness, the timelessness. So that within this almost 83-year-old staggering around earth body is the timeless body. And it's connected by the energy body, by the joy body. It's how lucky I am, how joyful it is that even though my body is deteriorating, I'm here, we're here. The wonder is not why things are or how they are, but that they are. That they are. That's the wonder. Too bad so many people forget this and end up fighting. Too bad, too bad. So I call the energy body, chi or ki, Sambhogakaya, the luminous bridge, because it's the bridge between this frail, deteriorating body and openness, spaciousness, timelessness. So, but we start, and this was my talk my last time I talked, we start with the ground of the earth body, the Nirmanakaya. Our biology, the wonder of our physical presence, the sacredness of the physical world. And then next time, in a couple weeks, I'm going to talk about the Dharmakaya, the no body of the Dharmakaya. But I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm just going to talk more about the chi body, the energy body. So again, when I really settle into the energy body, to the earth body, I feel this joyful connectedness. And of course, in Chinese arts, Tai Chi Chuan, Chi energy, Qi Gong, Qi energy, Aikido, Qi translated into Japanese as Ki, Ki energy, Aikido. So we don't just move our arms, we move our Qi, we move our Ki, we move our energy. All of us. You don't have to do one of these martial arts or unmartial arts. We just do. That's the energy that's coming out of us always. And it's a reservoir. And of course, we teach that we notice it more when we live more in the lower belly and less in the chatterbox cafe. If we spend 98% of our time in the chatterbox cafe, we miss the chi body. So that's what our practice is about. Not trying to get out of the chatterbox cafe, but just noticing it from our physical body and feeling the emanation of energy that comes out of that. And of course, in Buddhism in Japan is broken up into two, or broken up in many different ways, but two ways it's broken up into are the other power schools of Buddhism, Ta-Riki, Ki being energy, and the Ji-Riki schools of Buddhism, the self-power schools of Buddhism. Ji-Riki. And really there's only one self-power school in Japan that has all prominence, and that's Zen. And everything else is other power. And most of the religion of the world is other power. Think of it, Catholicism, Christianity, all the Buddhist sects, Muslim, other power. other power. But it's the same power. So we don't have to even debate it. It's the same power. When you really give yourself away, you feel energized. When you really sit still, you feel deeply connected. You just do. So no need to. Both and. Ki, tariki, jiriki. The grace of the universe moving through us. The vibratory sense of aliveness that pervades us from our scalp to our toenails. Cheryl's been helping me with my toenails. But our toenails emanate also that vibratory sense. It's more visceral than a thought, but more fluid and less material than a bone. Without it, we're just biological machines. With it, we're a symphony of feeling. We're a symphony of feeling. So when my grandfather died many years ago, I went to his Catholic funeral in San Francisco, and it was a high church Catholic funeral. Maybe in those days, I think all Catholic funerals were high church. And so his body was on display, and you know, we all did our visitation thing. I don't know, we were supposed to do it the day before. I can't remember. We did our visitation thing, and my relatives said, before I went to look at him, and he was someone I was quite close to. I was actually not as close to him as people thought, but you know, you never know where the chi energy is going to manifest. But I was kind of close to him. And they said, wait till you, this is my grandmother's friend said, wait till you see Papa. We called him Papa. He's so alive. They've made him up so well. And I went and looked at the body. The chi energy was all gone. He was gone. And I don't, was that fake? I mean, Alma really believed that when she saw it, but to me, it seemed like his energy was gone. His chi energy had left his body. Whoosh, whoosh. Hung out with dead bodies sometimes. And you see what I mean. But the chi energy is always here. It never evaporates forever. When we come into this room, before anybody comes in, there's a vibe. When everybody comes in and nobody says anything, there's a vibe. That's the chi energy, a vibe. A vibe of, well, you pick it up on it. If it's stillness, if it's openness, that's wonderful. But you may pick up on a different vibe. It's the chi energy. The heart swelling with gratitude. Sometimes so much that it could burst your ribs. Oh, that's the chi energy. Those aren't just metaphors. We experience this. We experience this. So this is all emphasized in Tantric Buddhism. Tantric Buddhism. And we're Zen, so we don't emphasize this. But Keizan, the famous Zen teacher who came a couple generations after Dogen, was really into Shigon Buddhism, which is really Tantric Buddhism. And the premise is that the health of our bodies, to feel healthy, we have to look at its subtle anatomy and experience it. It doesn't have veins, and according to the Tantric Buddhists, it has nadis. These are channels of energy. And they say 72,000. I can imagine them counting 72,000 channels of energy. You know, this gets passed down century after century. Everything's numerical in Buddhism, but how they do this 72,000 is beyond me. 72,000 nadis, inner rivers through which our vital life force flows. The energy body. Vast network of energy channels within us and around us. Every sigh we suppress to be polite. Every burst of joy we dampen because we don't want to seem too much. And every heartbreak we try to think our way out of is stored in knots which gather within those naughties. And these knots have great energy. So after my mother, yeah, my mother died too. Everybody's died now, except a few people. You know, this happens when you get to be old. But everything's coming back. Everything that dies comes back, so don't worry. I'm not talking about reincarnation here. I'm talking about something more wonderful than that. So, when my brother committed suicide many years ago, and I was sitting in the Zendo, which was over there every morning, and I felt shock and horror, and I was a knot inside me, but I just kept sitting with it, and finally the light force, chi, released. And of course, I didn't have those words then because I hadn't done this tantric study, which I've only done the last year or so. And partly because I like to give interesting talks. I get tired of saying the same old thing over and over again. Oh, here's something interesting. And then if I'm going to talk about it, I need to experience it, because I never want to talk about anything. So anyway, that's been anyway, back then I didn't know, but that just by sitting quietly, morning after morning, letting my judgment, letting my anger at myself, letting it be, letting it go, it dissipated, the knot dissipated. And when that happens, the pain turns into a sense of, generally, deep, luminous love. Deep, luminous love, because what's not to love? What's not to love? It's just these knots which are fear-based, that coalesce. And that helped me in my career. The rest of my career, I worked on trying to develop programs to help people like my brother before they killed themselves, so they wouldn't kill themselves. And then I've also talked about early death of my first dog. Some of you have heard me talk about my first dog several times. My first dog was named Freckles. 70 years ago. By any logical standard, any intellectual standard, that event should have been over years ago, right? Years and years ago. The dog's gone. Gone. The child's gone. Tim's gone. That little Tim, although he's still in here. But about 25 years ago in the Silence of Practice, again in that room over there, I felt a wave of grief for Freckles that was so sharp, so raw, it felt as if it were happening right now. And of course it was, and it is. And then I probably said to myself, this is out of proportion. You're supposed to be, I was already a Zen priest, you know. I was already going to be a successor at that, I was already a Zen priest. I was already going to be a successor of Katagiri. You're a grown person. This happened 4 decades ago. I said something like that to myself. But the energy body is timeless. It's timeless. The love and loss are not in the past. Everything is leaving and everything is coming back and everything is leaving. It's a living vibration, which I had been holding in my chest instead of just releasing. But after a while it released. So when we finally stop the chatter, and just sit with the sensation, that person, that animal we lost is still here with us. That grief wasn't a problem to be solved, isn't a problem to be solved. It's a precious energy to be felt. Precious. By turning toward the sensation rather than toward the story, the knot begins to soften. It just softens on its own. That's the secret of the energy body. All feelings, anger, fear, inadequacy are just condensations of the energy. If we turn away from the stories and notice the feeling, they pass, they pass. So now I'm inviting you to do a little guided meditation with me in which you can experience a little bit of this. So first, so you can experience your own energy body, which you're experiencing all the time, actually. First, please sit as tall as you can without being stiff. Imagine a golden thread pulling the crown of your head toward the sky while your tailbone roots deeply into your chair. This is what's called the mother channel, the spine, the mother nadi. Let's make it supple and straight, not solid. Let's make it supple and straight, not solid. Now, I'd like you to experiment with me. I'd like you to rub your hands together until they're warm. Till there's enough, rub them together till they're really warm. And then, when they're warm, part them about 6 inches. And feel the thickness between them. Feel the thickness between them. And now take those warm hands and place them over your heart. Place them over your heart. That's the place we hold our emotional memories. Close your eyes. Breathe into your hands. Don't try to change any emotion you find there. If you don't find any emotion, that's fine. But if there is annoyance, let it be hot. If there's peace, let it be cool. Let it be whatever temperature it is. As you breathe, imagine that energy in your heart moving up your spine, over the top of your head, and down your front like a fountain. This is called washing your own channels. Washing your own channels. Imagine that energy in your heart moving up your spine, over the top of your head, and down your front like a fountain. You're telling your body, it's okay to feel. It's okay to flow. And let's take a few deep breaths together. As we exhale, you might want to allow yourself to a little bit, or you might not. As you exhale, you might want to allow yourself to a little bit on each deep breath. And as you breathe in and breathe out, feeling the flow of the life force with the settling the energy into your lower abdomen or your center of gravity. 6 or 7 more breaths, and then I'll ring the bell. Gong. So, I thought there would be a bell here, but so I used this bell instead. So in the middle body, again, I'm using these Buddhist terms, the Sambhoga Kaya, the spine isn't a solid bone. It's a conduit. To have a Dharma spine is to be subtle, supple, S-U-P-P-L-E, and straight. If you sit like a soldier in your meditation, which a lot of people do, you're using ego power. Ego power is fine, no problem with ego power, but this is not about ego power. This is too much trying to force your way. if you sit like a soldier. And if you slump too much, your energy pulls in, you become dull and trapped in a vast trance of energy. Ooh. Not so bad, but not as good as just being here. Not as good as just being here. When the spine is balanced, it becomes a hollow flute. It becomes a hollow flute. The Jiriki Tariki, the great life force, can play through us. Self-power, other power, self-power, doesn't know. It's just playing music through us. It's a hollow flute. This is the mother channel, the mother nadi in Buddhism, in Tantric Buddhism. But also in Soto Zen, because Keizan had a pretty big influence. He was, I think, 3 generations after Dogen, but Dogen hadn't taught this, and everybody mostly follows Dogen and Soto Zen. So, when you feel a knot in your life, maybe a conflict at work or recurring fear, notice where your spine is. Is your spine bracing against life, or is it able to just be with it? The work of the middle or energy layer is to remain unbraced and to notice when we're braced and kindly let it unbrace itself. To stay open even when the energy is painful. This is the only way that channels can clear themselves. When the Sambhogakaya is fully activated and the blockages are cleared, we enter Wu Wei, effortless action. So I started doing downhill skiing when I was very young, and in high school I skied almost every weekend. I took a 3-hour drive from my home up into the Sierras and skied almost every weekend. In college I skied almost every weekend too. And this is before, of course, I knew anything about Buddhism or meditation, but I did learn, I got so good at it, that on a steep, icy run, there's no time for the self to exist. There's no time. If any activity, if you really give yourself to that activity, but if I started this thinking about the edges of my skis, I lost my rhythm. I lost my chi energy. So we become the process. Whatever it is, we become the process. This is the energy that emanates from our body, in which the Chatterbox Cafe just has to cool off so when it can recognize. It doesn't have to stop, it just has to cool off a little bit. The major addiction in life has to just cool off a little bit. And we can't make it cool off because when we try to make it, what happens? No new room to the Chatterbox Cafe, the cooling off room. And then that chatter. How's the cooling off room doing? How much zazen are you doing today? How much yoga did you do? Chatter. And then you go to another room. But the room is always right here. So it's okay. It's good. It's, Sambhogakaya is called the joyful body. Deep joy and just being. Even with all this shit that's happening all around us. The deep joy of just being. So there are several features or markers that show that the energy body, we're living in our energy body. And I want to just go over them a little bit. Let's see, did I? Oh, it's only 25 after. Okay. One is full attention. Another is the activity should be appropriately challenging. The other is there needs to be a feeling of agency, not ego, but not the control of a tyrant, but agency. Timelessness, number 4, and a feeling of calm, number 5, although it's just all one, so you don't have to even think about them. But full attention is the first one. Shikan in Zen, Shikan, just isness. Watching Katagiri Roshi when he did a calligraphy upstairs. I'd sneak in and watch him. And I'd watch him when the brush touched the paper. not thinking about it, just the black ink meeting the white paper and then something being drawn. And him not even knowing he was drawing it in a way. And I would have to work to get his attention. But I learned right away I wasn't supposed to even be watching him. But his kids never learned. So that he had to have a special room to do his calligraphy in with a locked door. Attention, attention. The energy body is the part of you that worries about being good enough vanishes. As long as you're worrying about being good enough, you're not activating your chi body. You're good enough. You're good enough. You're not perfect, you're good enough. So, attention. Second, appropriately challenging. Think about times that you've been in this kind of joyful energy. The activity has been somewhat challenging, and yet it hasn't been overwhelming. If the task's too easy, if the sweeping is too easy, we do a lot of sweeping here at Zen Center. I don't do so much anymore since I've got the age card. I'm playing the age card. It's a good card to play. Wait till you get the age card. You can play it on lots of different hands. But I do like to sweep. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But, you know, if you start spacing out when you sweep, make your sweeping more challenging. Sweep with the other side. Choose the other hand. I'm left-handed. Sweep with the right side. Then you'll be more chance you'll evoke the chi energy. More chance. So the challenge has to be just enough, but not too much. And then the feeling of agency, but that's the feeling of chi or ki, not the feeling of Tim's energy. Not the control, not controlling the skis, a sense of mastery that just came when I got on the slopes. It only took me 5 years. Oh, 5 years. You know, it will take you a while to get this. It will take you. I can just count all the numbers of hours I spend in this, in these zendos. But I don't want to discourage you. I won't tell you. Not that the zendo itself is the only place to practice. It's our lives. We make the zendo big. It's our lives. It's our lives. What's the point of the zendo if it's not about our lives? So timelessness. Have you ever been deep in a creative project and you look up and you find that, geez, the sunset? The sunset? You'd stepped out of clock time and into Sambhoga Kaya climb, into chi time, ki time, completely absorbed. Fifth one, of course, a feeling of calm, the still point of the turning world. The heart of intense flow. When we watch Katagiri, although I only got to watch him twice because he didn't want me to watch him, a profound, cool calmness as he did his calligraphy. Absorbed in the task, but not stressed out by it. Less self-conscious, less anxious. The spinning top, moving with immense energy, yet perfectly centered and still. So we each have different knots. I haven't gotten rid of all my knots, and I get new knots as I age. Most of them are more physical. Most of them are physically oriented, but then the motion comes in and starts jabbering about the physical, in case you haven't noticed. Knots, But that's just what is. That's just what is. When I had to take ballroom dancing when I was a kid. My parents made me take it, and I was very awkward. And Miss Boone would come up to me, and I remember once she came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder, not in front of the other kids. She was very discreet and said, "You're holding the world right here. stop trying so hard. And then she suggested I come dance with her, but I was not about to do that. So, stop trying so hard. Just be here. Just enjoy. What's not to enjoy? What's not to enjoy? This energy body is pervading your being. Pervading your being. So my experience as a skier, I realized that I realized this many years later. We didn't talk about diagnoses back in those days. Teenagers weren't depressed back in those days. This is a long time ago. I don't even think I knew anybody in my class, either in college or in high school, who had depression. We didn't have depression. You didn't have it. If you did, you maybe sneak in and see a psychiatrist, but you went in the side door and you didn't tell anybody. I did that at college. I snuck in the side door and didn't tell anybody. So what I experienced way back then was a sense of listlessness, of grayness, loss of interest and pleasure in the world, except for skiing. So that's why I ran up to the Sierras, 3-hour drive every weekend. I didn't realize this till many years later. That's why I did that for like 7 years. That's why I got to be such a good skier that I could have, instead of joined the ski patrol instead of become a psychologist. Well, that wouldn't have lasted too long because those ski patrol, their bodies wear out really, really fast. So I did that. That was my way of dealing with that, and that was good. And activities like that are good. Find an activity. Find an activity where you can absorb yourself. And if you're experiencing grayness, that grayness will abate. But don't get addicted to that activity. We can use the peace of meditation or skiing or even dancing, whatever it is, to disassociate from the mess of our feelings. Not so much. Then we end up spiritually bypassing, floating away, tuning out instead of tuning in. So do it, but don't make it a new addiction. Although maybe, I don't know, maybe it's okay. I mean, I did become a really good skier and had a wonderful time. So maybe it's okay, maybe it's good. But don't let it take over. Don't let it take over so much that here you are, going to be a psychologist, and you said you're going to be on the ski patrol instead. Both. There's room for both. Room to both. So tuning in, befriending the out of proportion feelings, befriending them, sitting with the emotion and simply being. Notice when you say, I shouldn't feel this. Instead, notice the energy of chi within that feeling. Within that feeling. Stop fighting it. And the knot releases. The energy that was tied up and repressing, it's available. It's available. We're not a victim anymore of our emotions. Our chi energy just moves, and we move with it, as it, in it, out it, we don't even know. This means not being afraid of your out of proportion feelings when they come up. They're the knots in your energy channel. They're the knots. And instead, when emotional memories come up and ask to be noticed, move them if possible into your mother channel, your spinal channel, your hollow core channel. When we live in the energy channel, which is not really a channel, we're no longer separate. My energy meets yours. Just here, it meets yours, right here. Not later, right here. My grief recognizes yours. It meets yours. We become a single vibrating field of aliveness. We already are. We already are. So after the talk, you guys don't get to stay for coffee and whatever, because we're going to be sitting quietly, enjoying our energy channels. But you guys can go home in your cars and enjoy your energy channels too, because they're not situationally related. When you get in your car, you may want to feel the energy in your hands as you touch the wheel. Wow. Wow. You may feel a surge of irritation at a red light. When they put a stop sign there, for years I sat at the Zen Center with no stop sign. Maybe 15 years, and then they put a stop sign. How annoying. How annoying. Every morning I would hear every car stop, start. Before, it was just nice flow of chi energy. But once they put the stop sign in, it messed my meditation up for a whole year. Oh, we're subtle. We're subtle. And we can laugh at ourselves. We can laugh with ourselves. And so if you feel a surge of irritation with the red light, don't just trance out into your phone. Stay with the irritation. Feel it. Let it release. Notice where it lives in your body. If it wants to show you where it lives, maybe it doesn't. So, all this practice, all it's about is tapping into a deep, deep joy of being. And we say 3 bodies, but really that's just arbitrary. Earth, sky, energy. It's a deep, deep joy of just being, just breathing, just being alive. The wonder is not what things are or how they are, but that they are. That we are here together this morning. Wow. Wow. And that some people are absent, and their very absence is their presence. Wow. Wow. And that's what I want to say. And there is a little bit of time for questions or comments. And I always like to start with the people online, because they're kind of ephemeral. They're very ephemeral. They can speak out of the ceiling. Anybody online have a question or a comment?
I would like to ask a question, please.
I'll come back to you. You can gather your chi, and I'll come back to you. Anybody on the left side, on my left side, with a question or comment? The left side of the room, with a question or comment. Yeah, sure.
So, I tend to struggle with feelings of anger and irritation when they come up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels really intolerable to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost become irritated and angry at the irritated and angry feelings.
Oh, good. I mean, good that you see that.
Yeah, I'm noticing it more and more, and I just keep struggling with it. Help me.
This is good. This is good. Keep doing it. The help will come, meaning notice when you're really irritated, and notice then when you're struggling about being irritated with your irritation, and then notice when you're struggling about I shouldn't be irritated with my irritation, and notice how, but yesterday I was also, notice, anytime you really notice, you recognize, you begin to cool off. Your psyche begins to cool off, your chi energy begins to unknot. So the very act of noticing, you're doing it just right. Just right. Can I be your student?
Joe and I can get together because I have the same problem.
Yeah.
I'll join.
This side of the room? Raymond.
When we're doing the guided meditation, you said, you might exhale and make a sound.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, I guess we've all heard the Om.
Yes.
Anything related, anything to do with it? Anything
Oh, well, in ancient India, Om's the first mantra in ancient India. And it's partly because it's vibrational field, and you do it from your lower hara, your lower belly. Om, the first mantra, really. And then in China, we have every students, many Chinese Zen students back in the day meditated on Wu. Does the dog have Buddha nature? And the teachers would say, Wu in your belly. Their question was, they were supposed to answer, was the dog in the Buddha nature? But I even had a teacher, a Rinzai teacher, when I lived in California, who would walk behind us and go, the Japanese take Wu and make it into Mu, and go, Mu. And then he would tap us on the shoulders if we were getting distracted and go, Mu. So this vibrational field, that helps relax our chatterbox cafe and open up to the energy body, is what Om and Wu and Mu are about. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Sure. Back to the folks online. I want to ask, is there anybody online?
Yes, but you can't hear us.
Please say something. You don't have to ask a question. Just show me that you're there.
I would like to ask a question,
Or maybe they're
please.
not. Oh, nobody online this morning?
Be muted.
Oh, that's too bad. Say, Ruzan? There's no one online this morning?
Particularly getting.
Pardon?
There should be people online.
Oh,
I think there's somebody.
did you hear someone? Oh, so someone just say hi.
We can't.
Hi.
People online? Oh, okay. All right, well,
Tim, we're just having a lot of audio.
well, we have about 5 more minutes, so let's just sit and see if anybody else would like to say anything.
Tim, sorry about the audio.
Oh,
Zoom.
speak a little louder. That's someone online who's up on the ceiling. Oh, up in
Actually,
the
I'm right underneath
Dharmakaya realm.
The issue is we had a lot of automation that we did this last week, and that's kind of gotten in the way of, it appears, from Zoom to the Zendo. The normal, all the other stuff is unmuted. You've got a lot of people saying things and asking questions on Zoom, but we can't quite get it to you. But we might be able to, I don't know, speak on their behalf or something. We continue to work on it.
They're having technical difficulties. People are online and talking.
Oh,
We can't hear them here.
is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Tim,
Yes.
can you speak a little bit more about spiritual bypass? You mentioned it. And
I can speak more about it. Often we have a really strong aspiration to open up to the spaciousness of just being and experience that with our chi body. But then we bypass our anger or our upsetness or even our depression. And we need to be there with our tender heart, our anger, our depression, our emotions, because they too are manifestations of the chi body. It's just gotten so condensed that it's holding us. So if we try to bypass those emotions, the knots are still there. And we may have a great sesshin and we're just really calm, but the knots are still there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is it apparent when you're bypassing that stuff, or when you're just having less?
Well, the reason I mention it a lot is that it didn't used to be apparent, but now it's apparent. Meaning, in San Francisco, we did it the Soto Zen way. You just sat, and nobody had any depression, and nobody had any anxiety. You were just sat. So there was a lot of spiritual bypassing going on. But partly it's because of the coming together of two cultures that don't really know each other very well, that aren't really intimately understanding each other. But as a psychologist, I have to talk about spiritual bypassing because that's what so many people who come into therapy do. They spiritually bypass, and then finally they say, I can't do this anymore, I need to talk to someone. They may not call it spiritually bypassing. I can't avoid this emotion anymore. I can't transcend it through my great meditation anymore. I've got to come see someone. Because transcendence only lasts so long because we have an earth body. We have a contingent earth body. Transcendence is cool, but yeah.
I remember something you taught me once was that really helped was when the feeling, the negativity, the knot, appears, however you want to put it. You said, "Oh, welcome."
That's right.
Welcome.
That's right. That's right.
Here you are. I see you. Welcome.
Yes. Uh-huh.
You have to teach me. That was another thing you said.
Pardon?
I use that all the time.
Oh, good. Well, some Sufi teachers said that too.
Oh.
Yeah, who was much wiser and much older than me. Whatever comes in, just welcome it. Just welcome it. Some of the Sufi teachers are great Zen teachers, or we could say they're great Zen teachers, or the Zen teachers are great Sufi teachers. But anyway, we don't need labels. You don't need labels, you guys. This is something you can do. And your life is short. Savor your moments of joy. Be with your moments of joy. They're all around you. They're all around you, even when all this bad stuff is happening politically, because they're in here. They're in here. This bad stuff can't really get you. As bodhisattvas, you want to do what you can to help others, of course, but your treasure house is in here. Protect your treasure house. Take care of your treasure house.
Tim, can you hear me in the room?
Mm-hmm. We can hear you.
I'm relaying a question from Zoom from Davey. Tim, you talked about joy, but it seems to me that there are things beyond happiness. Again, that's from Davey.
You talked about joy, but it seems that there are things beyond happiness. It's a comment from Davey.
Happiness, joy, those are just labels. 3 bodies, those are good labels. We need those labels. But they're just labels, just maps of the territory. I'm inviting you into the territory. I'm using all of these maps to invite you into the territory, not to create more maps. Well, if you want to create more maps, go ahead, but you only map the territory so much. The territory is wild and wonderful. I'm inviting you to enter it right here, right here. Davey? Maybe he entered it.
I see Davey nodding on the video. Thank you, Tim.
Okay. Oh, well, there's time for another one if somebody wants one. Yeah, Katie.
Can you talk a little more about when a knot feels like it's protecting something and you need to be very careful about undoing the knots?
That's very important. Thank you, Katie. Do you want to elaborate on that, I mean, it's very important that sometimes we need, last time I used the word coagulation, and I was criticized, and then I remembered, oh, we need blood coagulant. Blood coagulants are important. So sometimes we need a knot. We need a knot. We need to be protected by our fear. And the simple analogy I gave last time was that ice out there was really bad this winter, much worse than it's ever been. I had a bad fall on it, so much that I played my 80-year-old card, and now I get to park next to out there next to Ann Gibbon. But anyway, the fear that I had every day after that about approaching the ice, that's important. That's important. Without that fear, I would have kept falling. So I needed to honor that fear, but also not to carry it over into the rest of my day, just to honor it, to make use of it, but not let the Chatterbox Cafe turn it into a whole meal of fear. The problem is we have fear and we turn it into a whole gourmet meal of fear. We don't need to do that. And if we're doing that, that's okay. Then we notice, oh, this blockage is a gourmet meal of fear. Now I can breathe through it and come back to the bamboo spine, the empty bamboo spine, the mother channel. But that's also just a metaphor. But it helps, because it helps to think about this physically. Anyway, now, this has been wonderful, and enjoy your channels as we sit here and enjoy ours.
Thank you.